Imagine stepping into the shoes of George Burns, a comedy legend with a twinkle in his eye and a joke on his lips. Behind the curtain, George's journey wasn't all laughter. From his early days to becoming a beloved entertainer, his path was filled with hard work and resilience. We'll uncover his unique approach to comedy and the legacy he left behind. Join us to discover the untold stories that made George Burns an icon in entertainment. Humble beginnings and early career. On January 20, 1896, Nathan Birnbaum, who would later be known as George Burns, was born into the vibrant yet challenging world of early 20th century New York City. His arrival was in the bustling Lower East Side, an area known for its dense population of immigrants. His parents, Louis and Dora Birnbaum, were Jewish immigrants from the Austro-Hungarian Empire who had come to America in search of better opportunities. They settled in this lively neighborhood, which was filled with the hopes and struggles of many like them, all striving to build a new life amidst the chaos of growing urban America. George's home was far from quiet. As the ninth of 12 children, the Birnbaum household was always buzzing with activity. Despite the crowded conditions and constant hustle within their small apartment, the family was tightly knit. Each member played a part in supporting and caring for one another, which was essential given the challenges they faced as new immigrants. The close bonds they shared helped them navigate financial difficulties and the cultural adjustments of their new homeland. Louis Birnbaum, George's father, served as a cantor at the local synagogue, singing during Jewish services. His role was deeply connected to their faith and provided a spiritual foundation for the family, despite their economic struggles. Sadly, Louis's life was cut short by influenza in 1903, leaving George, then 7, without a father. This loss plunged the family into deeper financial hardship, with Dora Birnbaum shouldering the burden of raising 12 children alone. Dora, a strong and determined woman, took on various jobs to keep the family afloat. Her resilience left a lasting impression on young George, who saw her tireless efforts firsthand. The need to make ends meet meant that everyone in the Birnbaum family had to contribute to the household income, fostering a strong sense of responsibility and resilience in George from an early age. To help support his family, George started working at a very young age. His early jobs included shining shoes, running errands, and selling newspapers. Among these, working in a local candy shop had a significant impact on him. It wasn't just a job, it became a stage. In the basement of the shop, George and other boys formed a singing group. They sang popular songs and performed for passers-by, earning a few pennies and giving George his first taste of entertainment. These performances, although modest, sparked something in George. The laughter and applause he received gave him a sense of fulfillment that his other jobs did not. This early exposure to show business planted the seeds of a dream that would become a lifelong pursuit. Growing up in the Lower East Side, George lived in a melting pot of cultures, languages, and traditions. The neighborhood was a lively hub of immigrant life, filled with street vendors and performers. For George, it was both a playground and a classroom. The diverse surroundings shaped his comedic style, helping him craft humor that was both specific and universal. This early exposure to different people and lifestyles enriched his understanding of human nature, a skill that became central to his comedy. After his father's death, young Nathan Birnbaum, later known as George Burns, faced the challenge of supporting his family. By his early teens, he had found a calling in entertainment. The early 20th century was the golden age of vaudeville, a diverse form of theatrical entertainment. George took to the vaudeville stage, performing under various stage names and honing his skills as a comedian and entertainer. His acts, often modest, took place in small-time circuits and burlesque houses, where he developed his comedic timing and stage presence. During the 1910s, George regularly performed on the vaudeville circuit, experimenting with different comedic styles and partnering with various performers. These years of experimentation were crucial in shaping his unique comedic voice. By 1918, he had built a modest reputation as a seasoned vaudevillian, though he had yet to find the perfect partner to complement his style. In 1922, George's career took a pivotal turn when he met Gracie Allen. Gracie, born into a vaudeville family, was a young comedian with a talent for charming audiences. Their meeting was facilitated by Eddie Cantor, a well-known figure in show business. George was immediately struck by Gracie's natural comedic talent and her delightful delivery. This meeting led to the formation of the iconic iconic comedy duo Burns and Allen. Their onstage chemistry was immediate and electric. George played the straight man, setting up the jokes, while Gracie played the zany counterpart, delivering punchlines with perfect timing. Their dynamic turned a typical vaudeville act into something unique and engaging. Their complementary styles created a perfect balance of humor and wit that resonated with audiences, setting them apart in the crowded vaudeville scene. Burns and Allen's journey started on the small vaudeville circuits, where they quickly became known for their clever and engaging act. Their routine featured a role reversal that audiences loved. Gracie's seemingly scatterbrained character often outwitted George's serious persona. This comedic style became their signature, charming audiences with its humor. By 1924, they were performing in more prestigious venues, like the Orpheum Circuit, a network of top vaudeville theaters across the U.S. Their popularity grew as they refined their act, blending humor with song and dance. They moved from small theaters to major vaudeville houses, drawing larger audiences with each show. As the 1920s ended, the entertainment scene changed with vaudeville's decline and the rise of radio and movies. Burns and Allen adapted by moving to radio, a medium gaining immense popularity. In 1929, they debuted on The Guy Lombardo Show on CBS Radio. This move allowed them to reach a wider audience, bringing their comedy into homes across America. The shift to radio was successful. Their humor suited the airwaves, and they quickly became a popular act. Their segment featured George's straight man routine paired with Gracie's endearing, nonsensical responses. This delighted listeners and set the stage for their continued radio success. By 1930, they were a leading radio comedy duo. Their own show, The George Burns and Gracie Allen Show, became a staple on NBC starting 1934, attracting millions with its witty banter, sketches, and musical performances. This success opened doors to film opportunities. In 1932, they made their film debut in The Big Broadcast, a musical comedy by Paramount Pictures. The film, featuring various radio stars, showcased their comedy to a new audience and led to more film roles. They appeared in movies like International House in 1933 and Six of a Kind in 1934, expanding their reach beyond radio and vaudeville to the movie-going public. Even while making films, they continued to build their radio career. Their show was known for its clever humor and the dynamic between George and Gracie. They developed a regular format with George setting up scenarios and Gracie responding with whimsical misunderstandings, which became a hallmark of their performances. The early 1930s saw rapid growth and fame for Burns and Allen. Their radio and film success made them household names and pioneers in entertainment. Their ability to adapt to new mediums while maintaining their comedic style ensured their popularity and set the stage for greater achievements. Their act was perfected, characterized by Gracie's misunderstandings and George's bemused reactions. Their clean humor and wordplay resonated with audiences of all ages, making them a beloved duo in American entertainment. By 1934, they had established themselves as radio's comedic darlings. Their show, a staple in American households, was known for its clever dialogue and Gracie's charming humor. Each episode typically ended with the iconic line, "Say goodnight, Gracie," highlighting their unique dynamic. Parallel to their radio success, they ventured into film. Their debut in Six of a Kind in 1934, directed by Leo McCarey and featuring W.C. Fields, was a triumph. This led to more films like Many Happy Returns, Here Comes Cookie in 1935, and College Holiday in 1936, showcasing their impeccable comic timing and chemistry. As radio's influence faded, Burns and Allen transitioned to television. In 1950, The George Burns and Gracie Allen Show debuted on CBS, adapting their radio format for TV audiences. The show retained their humor, but added visual and situational comedy. Episodes revolved around their fictionalized lives in Beverly Hills, with Gracie's quirky antics driving the plot and George breaking the fourth wall to provide commentary. The TV show introduced innovations like George's direct addresses to the audience. The supporting cast of neighbors and friends enriched the show's appeal. Running for 8 successful seasons from 1950 to 1958, it was celebrated for its wholesome humor and the chemistry between George and Gracie. In 1958, Gracie retired from show business due to health concerns, marking the end of their era. Her retirement was a significant turning point for George, who had built his career around their partnership. The end of their act left George at a crossroads, facing the challenge of continuing his career without his beloved partner. Transition to solo career. After Gracie's retirement, George Burns faced the challenge of reinventing his career. His first big move was The George Burns Show from 1958 to 1959, where he played himself adjusting to life without his fictional wife. Sadly, the show didn't match the success of The Burns and Allen Show and ended quickly. Not giving up, George turned to producing and writing, using his vast experience in shows like The Bob Cummings Show. He also went back to live performances, reconnecting with audiences in comedy clubs and theaters. Additionally, he made many guest appearances on popular TV shows of the time, like The Jack Benny Program, showing his lasting talent and adaptability. In the mid-1960s, George hit a crucial point in his career. After a quiet period following Gracie's retirement, he looked for new ways to make his mark in the entertainment world. He started with live performances, using his vaudeville roots to win over audiences again. These shows, whether in nightclubs or on TV specials, reintroduced him to fans who loved classic comedy. A major breakthrough came in 1975 with The Sunshine Boys. Originally, Jack Benny was set to play Al Lewis, but after Benny's death, George stepped in. At 79, he brought a unique charm to the role, earning an Academy Award for Best Supporting Actor. This success marked a significant comeback for George, making him a Hollywood star once more. Building on this success, George starred in Oh God in 1977, directed by Carl Reiner. Playing God, George's performance struck a chord with audiences, leading to 2 sequels, Oh God, Book 2 in 1980 and Oh God, You Devil in 1984. These roles highlighted his versatility and kept him relevant in the industry. The 1980s saw George maintaining a strong presence in film and TV. He starred in 18 Again in 1988, playing an elderly man who switches bodies with his grandson. This film showcased George's enduring appeal and ability to connect with younger generations. His participation in A Century of Cinema in 1994 further cemented his status as a respected figure in entertainment. Beyond his screen work, George wrote several books, giving fans a peek into his life and career. Gracie, A Love Story in 1988, was a heartfelt memoir about his late wife and partner, offering insights into their relationship. This was followed by All My Best Friends in 1989, where George reminisced about his colleagues and friends in showbiz, sharing stories from his extensive career. In Wisdom of the 90s in 1992, George shared his thoughts on life, aging, and the entertainment industry. In his later years, George continued to appear in TV specials celebrating his contributions to entertainment. His longevity and public presence made him a beloved cultural icon, representing the lasting appeal of classic American comedy. Throughout this period, George received numerous awards. His role in The Sunshine Boys earned him an Academy Award, making him one of the oldest recipients of the honor. In 1988, he was inducted into the Television Hall of Fame, recognizing his significant contributions to TV comedy. He also received a star on the Hollywood Walk of Fame, honoring his impact on radio, TV, and film. George celebrated his 100th birthday in January 1996, marking a century of remarkable achievements in entertainment. Despite his age, he remained active, making public appearances and enjoying widespread admiration. George Burns passed away on March 9, 1996, at the age of 100. His death marked the end of an extraordinary career that spanned vaudeville, radio, film, and TV. His legacy as one of the most enduring and beloved figures in American entertainment is secure. His contributions to comedy, his partnership with Gracie Allen, and his solo career have left a lasting mark on the industry, continuing to inspire comedians and entertain audiences long after his passing. Behind the curtain. Early experimentation in vaudeville. Before George Burns became famous, he experimented with different stage names like Billy Pierce and Buddy Lynx. He was searching for his unique comedic style. An important part of his act, the cigar, started as a practical tool. Burns used lighting and puffing on the cigar to pace his jokes and create natural pauses. This became a signature part of his performances, helping him stand out in vaudeville. The formation of Burns and Allen. When Burns teamed up with Gracie Allen, they initially got their roles wrong. Burns wrote himself as the comedian and Allen as the straight person. However, audiences found Gracie's delivery of the punchlines funnier. Recognizing this, Burns switched their roles, allowing Gracie to be the comic while he played the straight man. Their on-stage chemistry was key to their success, with Burns crediting Gracie's comedic brilliance for enhancing his timing and reactions. Radio and television innovations. On radio, Burns and Allen used detailed scripts with annotations for sound effects and comedic beats to ensure perfect timing. On television, Burns innovated by addressing the audience directly, providing commentary or introducing scenes. This technique became a hallmark of their show. Burns insisted on performing in front of live audiences to capture genuine reactions and boost the performer's energy. Challenges in adapting to film. Transitioning to film presented challenges for Burns and Allen. They initially struggled with the lack of immediate audience feedback and the demands of cinematic storytelling. Adapting their improvisational style to scripted material required multiple takes and careful editing. Despite these hurdles, they successfully brought their unique humor to the big screen. Comedic innovations. Burns' comedy relied on dialogue and wordplay, often revolving around misunderstandings, puns, and double entendres, with Gracie's literal interpretations driving the humor. Unlike many contemporaries who relied on slapstick, Burns favored subtlety and wit. This made his comedy timeless and appealing across different media. Behind the scenes at the Burns and Allen Show, Burns was meticulous about script revisions, often tweaking material based on rehearsals. The transition from radio to television brought technical challenges, such as integrating live performances with pre-recorded segments. Burns and his team found ways to blend these elements seamlessly while maintaining the show's comedic rhythm. Guest stars, often friends from Burns' vaudeville days and contemporary celebrities, were carefully planned to complement the humor and provide variety. Approach to comedy. Burns believed the success of a joke depended on the build-up and timing, not just the punchline. He tailored his performances based on audience reactions, which was crucial to his long career. Burns' skill in evolving with changing comedic trends allowed him to transition smoothly from vaudeville to radio, film, and television. Secrets of performances. Burns was a master of improvisation, often making on-the-spot changes based on audience reactions. He turned mistakes into comedic moments, adding authenticity to his act. Despite their seemingly spontaneous nature, Burns and Allen's routines were carefully scripted. Burns ensured their performances appeared natural and unscripted, showcasing their acting and comedic skills. This attention to detail contributed to their polished performances. Collaborative dynamics. Burns worked closely with writers and directors to fine-tune their material. His experience in vaudeville and radio provided valuable insights that shaped their shows. The success of Burns and Allen's shows was a result of a collaborative effort, including writers, directors, and supporting cast members. This team effort was crucial in maintaining high production standards. Personal life and relationships. Early marriages. George Burns' first marriage was short-lived. In 1917, he married a dancer named Hannah Siegel, but they divorced just a year later. Burns found true companionship with Gracie Allen, marrying her on January 7, 1926. Their marriage was more than romantic. It was central to their careers. They adopted 2 children, Sandra Jean and Ronald John, and built a family that fit seamlessly into their professional lives. On and off stage, Burns and Allen's relationship was marked by deep affection and mutual respect. Family life. George Burns and Gracie Allen adopted Sandra and Ronald in the 1930s because they couldn't have children biologically. Burns was enthusiastic about fatherhood, balancing his career with being a devoted parent. He had a close bond with Ronald, who became a writer and producer in the entertainment industry. Burns was always supportive of his children, creating a nurturing environment despite his busy schedule. Professional challenges. Burns faced significant challenges transitioning from radio to film and then to solo work after Gracie retired in 1958. Adapting his comedic style to different formats was tough, but it showcased his resilience and creativity. Despite the difficulties, Burns evolved with the times and stayed relevant in the changing entertainment landscape. Health issues. As he aged, Burns dealt with various health problems, including heart issues and general frailty. Despite these challenges, he stayed active in his career, often using humor to address his health struggles. His determination to keep performing and engaging with the public, even when facing physical difficulties, showed his commitment to his craft and his fans. Public perception. George Burns's humor sometimes touched on sensitive topics like aging and women, which could be controversial by today's standards. However, his charm and the affectionate way he delivered his jokes generally kept his public image positive. He navigated public perception with a blend of wit and grace. Hollywood friendships. Burns had many notable friendships in Hollywood. His close relationship with Jack Benny, which began in Vaudeville, lasted a lifetime. They often appeared on each other's shows, showcasing their mutual admiration and comedic chemistry. Burns also had a playful rivalry and deep friendship with Bob Hope, frequently performing together. Another significant friendship was with Lucille Ball, with whom Burns collaborated on various TV projects, enriching the comedic landscape of their era. Mentoring and collaborations. George Burns was known for mentoring younger comedians and actors. With his extensive industry experience, he provided valuable insights and worked closely with writers, directors, and performers to enhance his projects. This collaborative spirit was evident in his shows, where he integrated guest stars and supporting cast members to create dynamic productions. Coping with Gracie Allen's death. Gracie Allen's death in 1964 was a profound loss for Burns. He grieved deeply but found solace in his work, using it to keep her memory alive. His dedication to his career during this tough time showed his resilience. His memoir, Gracie, A Love Story, reflects his enduring love for Gracie and how he coped with her loss. Through his humor and continued performances, Burns honored their shared legacy. Financial challenges. Early in his career, Burns faced significant financial difficulties. He struggled to make ends meet but persevered, eventually finding success in vaudeville and radio. Later in life, Burns became known for his prudent financial management, ensuring stability for his family and legacy. His early struggles and later success taught him the importance of financial wisdom, which he applied diligently. Legacy and impact. Influence on comedy style. George Burns' unique style significantly impacted comedy. Known for sharp wordplay and perfect timing, his routines were filled with clever puns, misunderstandings, and situational humor. This was a shift from the slapstick humor he started with, moving towards a more sophisticated, witty approach. Burns's refined style shaped TV and film comedies for years to come. His comedy wasn't just about laughter, it was about engaging with his audience deeply. Burns's humor was intelligent, often featuring satire and social commentary, which made his performances both entertaining and thought-provoking. Future comedians were inspired by this approach, combining sharp humor with keen observations in their acts. Cultural impact and legacy. Burns' influence went beyond his comedy style. He became a cultural icon, recognized for his distinctive voice, trademark cigar, and flawless comedic timing. His career, spanning vaudeville, radio, TV, and film, showed his ability to stay relevant over decades. In 1996, Burns turned 100, celebrated with public appearances and media coverage. This milestone underscored his lasting popularity and significant impact on entertainment, solidifying his place as a beloved figure in American culture. Comedy as a coping mechanism. In his later years, Burns often addressed aging and mortality in his humor. This allowed him to use comedy to cope with serious topics, adding a poignant touch to his routines. His ability to discuss deep subjects with grace and lightness made his comedy relatable and deeply human, resonating with audiences facing similar challenges. Despite his age, Burns continued making public appearances well into his 90s. This persistence showed his belief in comedy's power to connect with people and remain relevant no matter the age. Burns' enduring presence highlighted that laughter is timeless and can bridge generational gaps. Enduring quotes and philosophy. Burns is remembered for his witty and insightful quotes on life and show business. Lines like, "You can't help getting older, but you don't have to get old," reflect his optimistic view and belief in humor's timeless nature. These quotes continue to inspire many, He saw comedy as an art form that required dedication, timing, and a deep understanding of human nature. His philosophy on comedy influenced how humor was created and perceived in the entertainment industry. By treating comedy with respect, Burns elevated the craft and set high standards for future comedians. Influence on future generations. Burns's legacy is evident in the evolution of stand-up comedy and sitcoms. His emphasis on timing, delivery, and audience engagement helped shape modern stand-up. His ability to connect with audiences through personal stories and observational humor set a high bar for comedians. The George Burns and Gracie Allen Show provided a template for many sitcoms. Its recurring characters, situational humor, and direct audience engagement became staples in TV comedy, influencing countless shows and defining the genre. Comedic role models. Many comedians see George Burns as a major influence on their careers. His long career and ability to adapt to the changing comedy scene provided a model for sustaining success in comedy. Burns' work inspired many comedians to pursue their craft with dedication and passion. After Burns' death, numerous tributes and homages highlighted his impact on the industry. Comedians and actors often referenced his work, showing his lasting influence on entertainment. These tributes serve as a reminder of Burns's enduring legacy and his role in shaping modern comedy.